Hello everyone, the Nerdy Steve here, and today I will be featuring a Mono White Reanimator deck in Standard. The list is in the description below. I'm going to talk a little bit of the plan of the deck, and then we'll play a couple of games. So, let's go. This deck is really cool and interesting. So we have a couple of, 2-drops to stem the bleeding from other aggressive decks, but it's important that Guardian of New Benalia and Raffine's Informant and also Restoration of Eiganjo, all 2 and 3 drops, can discard cards from our hand to do stuff. And we can discard Sanctuary Warden, put into our graveyard, and then cast Invoke Justice on the 5th turn to bring back Sanctuary Warden, give a bunch of +1/+1 counters among the creatures we control, and then start drawing a ton of cards. And that's kind of what the deck is going to do. It kind of functions as like a weird control deck. Because Sanctuary Warden also doesn't necessarily end the game very quickly, like a lot of the theoretical Reanimator targets. It just kind of gives us a bigger board and more stuff to do. But it does put a quick clock on your opponent, but not like too quick, right? We also have Sigardian Savior, which when you cast from your hand, you can return up to 2 target creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And ideally, you cast Sigardian Savior and you return 2 Spirited Companions that have chump block to help you get to that 5th turn, so you can like draw a lot more cards, right? And that's kind of just the idea of this deck. We want to, stabilize the first couple turns, and then with the card advantage from Sigardian Savior and Sanctuary Warden, overwhelm our opponent. Now, with all that being said, let's go see if it works out. We'll keep here. We don't have anything to really do. And I'm hoping that changes with our draw, but one of the things that I found with this deck is I'd rather 3 lands is really important. So it sucks that, we don't have other stuff to potentially do. But, if we can get to 5 mana, we can probably rebuy a Spirited Companion. Drawing another one is great. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a Graveyard Trespasser. That'd be really bad. We'll take that there. Alright, so our opponent deck, they missed a 3rd land drop, right? So that's good for us, obviously. Well, there it is. But right now, they did not put enough pressure on us, so it's going to allow us to kind of get to the point where we can do what we want. Like, this is the type of aggressive deck that we are fine against. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to cast Savior here, even though it doesn't get anything, because I really feel that we need to, like, otherwise we're just wasting our 5 mana, and we have another Savior to bring back stuff, and Sanctuary Warden, so... Oh. Sheoldred is really good against our deck, though. Because guess what, everyone? We're drawing a lot of cards. We're drawing a lot of cards. We don't have ways to really remove the Sheoldred main deck in best of 1. I should have attacked with the Sigardian Savior, and I didn't, so I apologize for that. That was bad. Decline. We need to... Oh, if our opponent was at 3 less life, missing that attack was very bad. lose another 2 life. I'm doing that because I think that is more important. A 1/1 can block a 3/2, so it's gonna save us some life, I think, maybe. Let's get back the Guardian of New Benalia. Do we have enough? I don't even know if we have enough life, though. I think we're just dead. If our opponent attacks with everything. So let's see what's going on here. It's close. Because when this dies, we do gain 2 life. So, I mean, that's fairly relevant. And then Graveyard Trespasser, okay. We're at 5. Alright. We will not draw cards, and we will win. GG. So we have 2-drops galore, which I think is fine. We want to Raffine's Informant. Do I like the Wandering Emperor here? Probably a little more than Guardian. Alright, Reckoner Bankbuster feels decent. Restoration of Eiganjo is really good, because now we get to ensure our 4th land drop, and we can discard Spirited Companion to get the free loot and then double Informant. Or not. That's fine. Because we still get the double Informant, right? I'll get rid of the Wandering Emperor. Next turn we can the Celestus into Spirited Companion, which we really, really like. I thought our opponent would have Meat Hook Massacre, but our opponent did not. Hero's Downfall, okay. But the Celestus is really, really good for us. Against our opponent's mono black deck, that card advantage and card selection is just really, really important to winning. Shieldred, however, sucks for us. A lot. Like, it really, really makes our clock much slower and theirs much quicker. We have to do this attack, though, because we need to put pressure on our opponent, and if we don't attack right, our opponent can just get another creature, and it's just no bueno. We would really like an Invoke Justice, so we can really pump our creatures and have, you know, lethal coming up soon, but looks like we might not be doing that. Of course, and as you can see, we are going through our entire deck here. But we needed to draw Invoke Justice, even though it would have taken all of our, you know, life. And I think it was worth it.
I hope you're ready to lose.
And it was. GG. Alright. So again, against a an opponent who played a swamp. How groundbreaking. Every opponent today has done that. So no shade or anything. Another Spirited Companion. So we don't know what type of mono black deck our opponent is. If there is a Reckoner Bankbuster, it's probably more control deck, so we can probably expect Sheoldred, which makes me cry, because Sheoldred, again, is very, very good against us. Our opponent drawing here is a very good sign. Alright, the Tenacious Underdog is beautiful. Let's discard Raffine's Informant, actually. And now we get to replay the Raffine's Informant with our Sigardian Savior. We'll say goodbye to that. Meathook Massacre for 2 doesn't board wipe us, so I doubt that's not something we're really, really afraid of. Our opponent's probably trying to get a land drop, maybe. Also has the treasure now. It's always very easy if your opponent doesn't draw lands, though, to win the game, so maybe that's what's happening here. But also, if you haven't already, you should like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content you're watching. As we wait for our opponent to contemplate why they did not draw another land. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. And this is going to be very, very hard for, you know, whenever you miss your 4th land drop, it's always very hard to come back from. And this is really going to be really, really difficult, if not impossible. We just have a lot of pressure. Our opponent's on a very low life total. And a Meathook as a board wipe will not get rid of our Sanctuary Warden, which is very, very important here. It will gain a lot of life, so it's like not over, but it would need to be Meathook followed by the perfect amount of lands and other cards. Without us drawing anything relevant. Okay. So the Soul Transfer does set up for our opponent having a good Meathook next turn. Probably going to Crew to block the Raffine's Informant. Which is fine. We're going to Bankbuster here. We're not going to cast anything else. If our opponent goes land and Meathook Massacre for 3, we can, in response, Wandering Emperor to save the Sigardian Savior to make it a 4/4. We could have drawn a card with Bankbuster during our turn, could have cast Spirited Companion, you know, but... Alright, Sheoldred. Pretty good.
Now you've done it. That's coming off. We've got the edge in this fight.
So what I'm gonna do here is Sigardian Savior to get back the Raffine's Informant. Will Connive lose more life here? Which I think is fine. Because what I want to do actually, is make Bankbuster a 5/5 creature with first strike and attack. So now our opponent has to block and isn't forced to chump with Shieldred, but this being a 5/5 first striker, it isn't going to die even if our opponent, you know,
Show them
screws
how
with
we
Bankbuster
greet
and double
our
blocks.
enemies.
Because the 5/5 can kill the Shieldred, and the 4/4 will not kill the Bankbuster. Our opponent put up a fight, though. And again, still not over yet, right? But we're in a very, very good spot. The Celestus is... We lost 1 life there, but we did get to loot. Opponent goes up to 5. Has a 4th land here. A meat hook for 2? I don't think is enough. It is a lot. That's 9. Meat hook for 2 actually might be enough. Yeah. Oh, for 1? Okay. Yeah, makes sense. You know what? And maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should have done with the Bankbuster. Ooh, and a cut down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, everyone. This is not good. I think we may have misplayed now. Maybe I got too confident in our opponent having to draw the perfect cards. But the Shieldred is doing a lot of work for doing a lot of damage.
Guards, to me.
Yeah, I'm actually very, very scared. We played that previous turn probably a little too aggressively, actually. Now Shieldred will kill us.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. We all have things we'd rather.
If our opponent attacks here, we can draw... Alright, we can draw an Invoke Justice for lethal. Oh, wait. We can draw... We have a lot of draws, I think, right? Oh, thank you, though. Whew. GG. Well, thank you for watching me play some Mono White Reanimator in Standard. This deck is great. I've been playing it a lot in Best of 3 on my streams at twitch.tv/TheNerdySteve. Go watch. And I think if I were to do this more in Best of 1, we probably want March of Otherworldly Light or some other type of removal in the main deck here, because it felt really, really bad having to try and navigate our games and beat a resolved Shieldred. But there's also a lot of other problematic permanents that March can get rid of that we need to, and so that might be worth moving to the main deck. I'm not entirely sure what you want to take out of the main deck for it, but it's just something to consider. Also, Wedding Announcement is really, really good against Mono Black, and because it's been very, very popular, that might be something to put into the main deck too. Doesn't necessarily fit into the greater theme and game plan of the deck. However, it might be just good enough to be worth it there. But yeah, no, this deck was great, and I hope you learned something. I learned a lot about keeping what hands I should keep. I always think 2 lands is enough with a bunch of draw spells, but you probably want 3 lands a lot more often, and maybe mulliganing to that might just be worth it more. So that's something to keep in mind. With all that being said, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Those are great ways to help support me and my channel. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.